Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Man at YouTube with another model video. Today we will be building, unboxing and reviewing the Renault FT-17 with Hotchkiss machine gun by HäT in 1/72. This model comes with two tanks. HäT is a very renowned and famous, well-known brand for doing historical figures from ancient times all the way up to World War II. They're very well renowned for their detail and historical accuracy, as well as covering unusual subjects from artillery pieces, dragoons, horses, carriages, you absolutely name it. Now, the Renault FT does not need any introduction. It is a very famous tank from the First World War. This tank is almost as iconic as the T-34 or today's Abrams. It has a lot of revolutionary elements to it, including its very small size and small amount of personnel and traversing turret. Very successful in its duties and exported to many countries, especially the Allies, and performed duties across many theatres of war, even into the later parts of World War II. The model is quite old and simple. The instructions and colour guide is located in the back, as well as two sets of runners on one sprue. A very low parts count. You do have to contend with an annoying seam line right down the center, though mind you, the cast, the rivets and all the detail is accounted for and ideal. Now, the rear flange on the back does need a bit more work. You can put extra cross beams or detail in plastic styrene. I chose to leave it as is, though you will really struggle to come across a model to beat this in styrene. The assembling process will take less than an hour. It is ideal for wargaming in how quickly you can paint it and field immediately. All you need to do is glue everything onto the turret, glue the two halves together, putty and sand back. Probably suggested that you use super glue and baking soda so it can be sanded immediately and lead to painting. Keep the tank tracks separate, as these components can be painted differently and the tracks hand painted at a later date without having much difficulty. Mask if you feel necessary. The kit almost does work in a snap fit manner, very friendly for kids or whatnot, so minimum amount of glue is only required. The cannon as well as the turret can be articulated for wargaming purposes and just stuck on or glued. That's not too much of a big deal. With the amount of fun and how much I appreciate the kit, both of them were built with the intentions of doing a World War I French finish utilising old S-model French decals that I had. Definitely something fun to utilise, and a more fun and basic Girls and Panzer version. I cracked out my nicer airbrush, the HäT 0.2 nozzle, to get the nice camouflage effect, picking out the colours as close to the reference material as possible. Everything was primed with Tamiya lacquer grey primer in airbrush, with the paint mixed externally of course, and Guy Note oxidized red lacquer undercoat to give it a nice natural tank look, still separated, still on their pegs. The effect airbrushing was all done with various different shaded lacquers by Mr. Hobby. The kit had its decals applied, followed by a gloss top coat, a little bit of basic weathering, mostly a black sludge wash, details hand painted such as machine gun metal for the machine guns, an oxidized or rusted steel for the tank tracks, and realistically the rest is history. Just a nice top coat of matte varnish. Now, due to how chunky the plastic is, it's got a bit of a texture. It can definitely take hand painting and wargaming Warhammer methods of shading and application. None of that is an issue whatsoever and will look quite fantastic. I feel that the model's really this nice and fun to work with, that it's probably more the model shouting out than the skills I applied to it. Spent a long time hunting it down, got both sets. The version with the cannon will be made at a much later date, but the two are practically the same except for the cannons. Very hard to come by though. Through ordering websites or just handing your hobby shop, you can come across them, though if someone does get a large stock of HäT miniatures, you can almost guarantee that they do disappear very, very quickly. And with the massive barrage of different colour schemes, countries, nationalities and camo schemes, I'll have no problems finding a look for the other two. Very happy how these two came out. Looked at a lot of reference material for the pattern. Definitely enjoyed using the finer airbrush to get the soft edge camo, as well as a flat finish for the girls, and Panzer won a nice little trainer for the Ori High School. So hands down, very old kit, very, very good kit. Close to being accurate. To make it ideal, it's very, very little work. Not a problem at all. I've heard other modelers rave on about it. It is in my top 10 72nd armors and tanks to collect. And it's just something to definitely look out for. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. I have a lot of stuff on Facebook. Have a bit of a look at that in case anything goes wrong on YouTube. Videos are always put on there, as well as pictures, work in progresses, events, and opportunities that I might be going to live events to do something. Lots of resources and other things shared there as well. Stay tuned for further content, of course. There will be more World War I tanks I have in my collection. Some pretty obscure ones. I'm just very slowly working my way through it. There is a playlist of AFV armors and tanks. If you're new to the channel, check that out. There are over 50 videos, as well as tutorials and other videos. We are mostly a science fiction Gundam figure platform, but I cater as well as enjoy many different subjects. Catch you guys later, and happy modeling.